I have the Epstein Files Donald Trump doesn't want you to know about. Tonight is the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Trump is speaking in front of a room full of journalists that he regularly attacks. And so I felt the need to spend the night going through the Epstein Files, detailing Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein over the course of 30 plus years. This story is one that has to be told, even if some don't want it to be. And so I need your help to get the word out because whenever I mention the word Epstein, platforms conveniently say no. Make sure to subscribe, get us to 1 million subscribers, like, comment, share, get the word out, because the people need to see the true relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And tonight, I have that for you. Because for years, one question has followed Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. How well did they really know each other? The public record indicates pretty well. Photographs, party footage, flight logs, and Trump's own past comments. Most recently, a birthday letter reportedly bearing Trump's name reignited scrutiny of that relationship. Seemingly unfortunately, many people just forgot that that birthday letter existed, as did they forget the litany of other photographs and Epstein-related files that the President of the United States had associated with Jeffrey Epstein. And so I want to take a minute to talk about the background. Because Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein began in the 1980s. In 2002, Donald Trump told New York Magazine that he had known Epstein for about 15 years. He described him as a, quote, terrific guy who was fun to be around. Trump also remarked that Epstein liked women on the, quote, younger side, a comment that would take on a much darker meaning after Epstein's crimes became public. See, at the time, Trump was a prominent New York real estate developer. Epstein was building a social network filled with wealthy and influential people. And in the 90s, things started to change. Images like this started to appear. Trump and Epstein appeared together at several social events. This image was Trump posing with a Belgian model on April 28, 1997, taken by Sonia Moskowitz from Getty Images at the Victoria's Secret Angels party. Another image from April 9th, 1997, shows Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein also at a Victoria's Secret Angels event in New York City on April 9th, 21st Street in New York City. This was taken by Getty Images, Thomas Concordia. In 1992, NBC recorded a party at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The footage shows Trump and Epstein laughing as music plays around them. And you see these photographs in 1997. But their association actually extended beyond parties. See, flight logs introduced as evidence during Ghislaine Maxwell's trial show that Donald Trump took 7 flights on Epstein's private aircraft between 1993 and 1997. The records were primarily between Palm Beach and New York, with one stop potentially involving Washington, D.C. Now, the existence of those flights documents an association. By itself, it does not establish participation in Epstein's crimes. But as we move forward, and these images, by the way, this is the most famous one of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein at the Mar-a-Lago estate, where the two of them got to know one another. And then we shift to the 2000s. In February of 2000, Trump and his future wife, Melania Nas, now Melania Trump, were photographed at Mar-a-Lago alongside Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. In this image, you see Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein to the side and Melania and Donald to the left. They were with them is musician Michael Bolton at the Mar-a-Lago Club, taken on February 12, 2000. Maxwell and Epstein are visible in the background. This image was taken by Getty Images from Davidoff's studio. Another image from that same time period shows Melania, Epstein together, along with Prince Andrew and Epstein associate Gwendolyn Beck. I should say, Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew. This too was taken by Getty Images and Davidoff Studios. And this shows a closer than usual relationship. See, Ghislaine Maxwell was later convicted for helping Epstein recruit and abuse children. She's currently serving a 20-year prison sentence in the FPC Bryan facility in Texas. Mar-a-Lago also appears elsewhere in the Epstein story. Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of the most prominent Epstein accusers, said she was working at the club as a teenager when Ghislaine Maxwell, recruited her to become Epstein's masseuse. Virginia Giuffre said Epstein and Maxwell later groomed her for sexual exploitation. Another accuser, Joanna Soyberg, Sjoberg, described the 2001 flight that was diverted to Atlantic City because of bad weather. She said the group visited one of Trump's casinos after landing. And then we move to the famous, now infamous, birthday letter. The birthday letter that was purportedly written, bearing Donald Trump's name, appearing in a book created for Epstein's 50th birthday. See, the Wall Street Journal reported this. The Wall Street Journal published this and now faces significant possible penalties legally if they got it wrong. I don't think they got it wrong. See, the Wall Street Journal's reporting, well, it was solid. And while it reported that Donald Trump, this is a letter with his signature on it, and tonight at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the Wall Street Journal received an award for its reporting, all in front of none other than Donald Trump. Watch this moment.
And now the Katharine Graham Award for Courage and Accountability, named for the legendary Washington Post publisher, and it comes with a prize of $10,000. This year's award goes to the Wall Street Journal. The Journal's courageous reporting on President Trump's past relationship with financier Jeffrey Epstein triggered the release of the so-called Epstein Files, thousands of documents that might otherwise have remained hidden from the public. And despite the president's threat of a lawsuit, the Journal published a story about a provocative letter to Epstein bearing President Trump's signature. Trump quickly filed a $20 billion lawsuit against the Journal, revealing reporter Khadija Safdar's home address. Her family had to be relocated. The Journal was kicked off of Air Force One, but the reporters continue to file revelatory stories. Please welcome the winners of the Katharine Graham Award from the Wall Street Journal. Khadija Safdar, Sadie Gurman, Annie Linsky, Josh Dawsey again, Alex Leary, Rebecca Ballhaus, and Ryan Barber. Their colleague, Joe Palazzolo, could not attend tonight.
The question is, well, that reporting is real. That reporting is true. Donald Trump never wanted that letter to go out, and yet it did. But Donald Trump's relationship, well, it's not new, and it's something that needs to be memorialized because the birthday wish concluded referring to, quote, another wonderful secret. Now, the public relationship appears to have ended around 2004. According to reporting by the Washington Post, Trump and Epstein competed to purchase a foreclosed oceanfront mansion in Palm Beach. Trump ultimately outbid Jeffrey Epstein. After that dispute, public evidence of the two men interacting became sparse. Trump later claimed they had a falling out and had not spoken for approximately 15 years. That falling out, based on what I understand, didn't come because of Epstein's crimes, but rather came because of real estate. In 2005, police in Palm Beach began investigating an allegation that Epstein had sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl. The investigation uncovered additional accusations. Despite the seriousness of the allegations, Epstein ultimately pleaded guilty to state charges involving a single victim. He served 13 months under a controversial work release agreement that allowed him to leave jail during the day. The unusually lenient deal later became a major source of public outrage. The U.S. attorney who was involved in that deal, Alex Acosta, later served in Donald Trump's cabinet as his labor secretary. In July of 2019, during Trump's first presidential term, federal prosecutors charged Epstein with sex trafficking. Asked about him at the time, Trump said Epstein had been a familiar figure in Palm Beach, but repeated that they had fallen out years earlier. Epstein died in the Manhattan jail on August 19, 2019. Authorities ruled his death a suicide. In January of 2024, hundreds of pages of court documents connected to Epstein were unsealed. Trump's name appeared in the records, as did the names of numerous other public figures and associates. Being named in the documents does not indicate criminal wrongdoing on its own. But documents that were revealed as part of the Epstein Files release tell an important story. Because it's not just the pictures that I showed you. It's also Mr. Epstein's own words. Take a listen.
He is able to convince people, so he tells everybody what they want to hear.
So how do you know this?
That's close to straight.
He has a sense of humor. He can be funny.
He's great. His ability to sell. It's very much like Clinton. Both Bill and Donald have the ability to go over to a fat, ugly woman, say, "You are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." So you probably know he had a scalp reduction. Because he had the same male pattern woman that we all have. He's not a horrible human being. He does nasty things to his best friends' wives. Anyone who first tries to gain your trust and then uses it to do bad things. That's how it goes.
But that's not the only moment. See, there, Jeffrey Epstein claims that Donald Trump is one of his closest friends of 10 plus years. He's charming. Jeffrey Epstein knows this well. Jeffrey Epstein was very close to Donald Trump. And when asked more about this, Jeffrey Epstein didn't really want to answer.
Ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
He has pled the 5th. And when we look at the documents themselves, they also tell an important story. See, this email from 2011 between Ghislaine Maxwell and Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein shows, quote, "I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Blank spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. I'm 75% there. Recall I told you I've met some very bad people. None as bad as Trump." That's directly from Jeffrey Epstein, speaking to Larry Summers. And so when we think about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, the question remains, how well did the two actually know each other? Well, the available evidence documents a social relationship lasting roughly from the late 1980s all the way into the early 2000s. They attended parties together. They were photographed and filmed together. Trump flew on Epstein's aircraft several times. And Trump once publicly described Epstein as a friend. Trump says that relationship ended after a falling out around 2004 before Epstein's first criminal case became public. But we don't have any evidence to support that. And we have the birthday letter. That birthday letter is still the subject of a major lawsuit right now. Trump and Epstein were not merely strangers who happened to cross paths. They moved in the same social circles and associated repeatedly for years. What Trump knew about Epstein's conduct during that period, well, that remains a separate and still unanswered question. But it's a question I'm not going to stop looking for an answer to. And so tonight, get the word out, subscribe to support my work, and I'll see you soon.